What's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be going over the most fundamental and foundational piece that you must have in your business. Otherwise, you're going to be guaranteed leaving tons and tons of money on the table. So my name is chandlersaine, CEO of Level Up REI, and I'm sharing you the exact tools and methods I use to evaluate how I can 2 or 3x businesses within the first 5 minutes of looking at any information. And again, so just remember, it's going to be a little bit interesting. We're in a boring Google sheet, but this is the exact information and framework that I use so I can scale multiple companies past 6 figures per month on Clockwork. So basically, what we got going on here is we have our KPIs. So we have leads, net leads, appointments set, appointments completed, contracts, sold deals, average deal size, revenue. So most of these you've probably recognized. Leads, appointments set, appointments completed, that's just offers. Contracts, sold deals, average deal size. You know these. The big one that you probably don't know is net leads. So I'm going to define that. So I'm assuming you know the rest, and I'm going to strictly just define net leads and then roll into exactly what this chart is and why it's valuable. So a net lead is just a lead that we actually verify. So when someone comes into our CRM, we basically call them up. So again, someone on our sales team, so our lead manager or whoever is calling all your new leads, must call them and get an answer, and then verify that this person is a homeowner and that they actually do want to sell their property. They don't have to be motivated. They just have to have a degree of wanting to sell their property, right? So anyways, with that cleared up, basically I'm going to roll through exactly what this is. So what we would do is we want to know these numbers on a last 30, 60, and 90-day basis so that we can make good decisions on the trends of the business. And we're going to make those decisions based on what the baselines for most companies are able to do. And so basically what I have here is the baselines for how your business should be doing in each of these categories. So we're going to be looking at leads to net leads, what that conversion percentage should be, which is about 75%. That means, about 12.5% of your leads you don't contact, 12.5% are unqualified. Then your net leads to appointments. Now for outbound, which is like SMS and cold call, you should be around 15% of your net leads turning into appointments. Now, if you're doing inbound, like PPC, Facebook, direct mail, TV, something like that, this should be closer to 40 to 50%. The higher you can make this, the better. If you can get this above 50%, you're going to do a much, much better job at actually closing at a very profitable number. So the higher this can be, like realistically, you need it 50 or 60. It's going to give you a much better chance at being profitable on this campaign. So anyways, I'm going to run it on outbound for right now because that's what most of our clients do and most people who are watching this video are probably doing. Obviously, if you're not, just take this with a grain of salt. Roughly also for inbound leads, you need to be closing. You need this leads number. You're going to need to manipulate this leads number to be closing between 10 and 20 leads because that's just based on how much you pay per lead and how much you can afford to pay per contract in order to have a profitable ROI. So anyways, without further ado, we're going to roll into how we use this. So we established the baselines. Baseline average deal size, we want to be $30,000. Most people sell their deals at 75%, right? The way that this sheet works, because everyone's can get a copy of this down below, is simply you change the contracts and it changes everything. So if I want to get 10 contracts, this is the numbers, this is what it does. And so when I'm evaluating a business and trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, I'm going to, take where they are now. So let's just establish their baseline. This baseline stays the same, so this is what we're shooting for. And then let's just say for January, this is where they're at now. So let's just say they're at 3 deals or 3 contracts per month. In a very standard scenario, it would be something like this. They'd have a 10% close rate, and then they would be converting 5% of their net leads into appointments. Or actually, I'm gonna keep this scenario. It's probably something. This is also a scenario as well. So there's a couple things we can do here. We'll just run a scenario like this. Let's say this is your business. And I'm going to keep this here 3 so you can see the difference. So from what we're doing right now is we're having to generate 800 leads in order to make $60,000. A lot of times people's deal size is smaller. We're not going to go over that. It doesn't really matter. But over here on the baseline, in order to make 60K, we only need 179 leads. So now it's about how can we bridge that gap. And so I'm quite sure that it makes a lot of sense to most of you guys that you would just want to increase these conversion rates, right? That's simple math. So if I was able to convert my close rate from 10 to 20%, watch what happens to the leads. Go cut in half because your business would literally double. So from making that one change, your business literally doubles. That's how you 2x a business. Now, making a 10 to 15% change is going to be about a 33% increase. So you should watch this go down, I think 600 if I'm right, or 550, close enough. So anyways, and then you can also watch net lead to net lead go up, and you'll see what happens. It's a 50% increase, I believe. So it should go like 450. No, it does the same actually. So actually that math is the same. Okay, cool. So basically, what this helps me see is what's the biggest lever for me to pull. So, for example, if I could double my business by making one change, which is double my close rate, which is not a simple thing to do. If I could do that, then I would double my business, and I would have to spend half as much money in order to basically make the same money, or spend the same amount of money on marketing and generate 800 leads and just get 4 deals sold and 6 contracts instead of doing 3. So this is how we basically understand what we want to do and what levers we should pull. So there's a couple basic. So this basically gives you the understanding of what part of your business you need to work on. So if it's leads and net leads, that means we probably need to get in contact with more of the leads that are coming into our system, because our no contact percentage is probably extremely high. So you'd want to build a process that creates this streamlined process for where we're going to send these text drips, we're going to send email drips, we're going to send amount of phone calls, make sure our phone numbers aren't spam, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we need to hire lead managers, whatever that is. And that's what we would install. And that'd be like the thing that we'd be like, hey, you need to go implement this. If net lead to appointment is low, then you might have too many leads for the amount of lead managers you have. You might be getting leads that aren't even good leads. They're not even in areas you want to buy. They're not properties that you really like. Or your lead managers need more training. A couple of different things. Maybe you need to put a dialer system in. There's some just high level things that you could do. And the last part right here is if you want to increase your close rate, your offers to contracts, your appointments completed to contracts, then it could be more sales training for your acquisition guys so that they can, give lower offers and negotiate harder, or just so that they can overcome more objections. Maybe that's call reviews. Maybe that's, accountability. Maybe it's hiring another person because your guy right now isn't very good. Whatever it might be, there's a million different routes you can go. And this is how we decide what we want to work on. And so if this was a business I was consulting, typically I want to get the biggest return for the littlest amount of time and the littlest amount of work. So my first thought would be that I want to ask questions on, hey, what's your no contact rate? What's your process if a lead comes in? If there's no processes, I'm going to install a quick process to where they are guaranteed to contact 90% of their leads. And then this will come up to 70 or 75% like that in about 2 to 3 weeks. Next thing is net, because that's just the easiest one to fix. Net leads, and it's also going to give us a 50% increase in efficiency. Net lead to appointment. This one, how many lead managers do you have? What's their process? How much training do they get? Where are they from? How long have they been working? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to figure out why this needs to be fixed and what we need to do. And it might be a small tweak to where we can focus on this, and we can get 2 50% increases, which again, let's just run the math. 15, 75. If we're able to do that, we get down to 350. That's better than doubling the business, right? So again, just taking these small things in mind. And these 2 things might be able to be done in 30 days. It just depends. And the last thing, which is going to be more of an ongoing long-term thing, that this never happens overnight. It's going to take at least 60 to 90 days to ever turn a close rate from 10 to 20%, typically 60 to 90 days. And then that is just going to be a long-term project that we're going to work on, that when we did all of it, again, you would more than triple your business, because with 800 leads, you get 9 contracts. 800 leads, Jesus. Think about it. With 800 leads, you should be getting 13 or 14 contracts. So we just call it 13 because we're close enough. 9 deals, 270K. So just to put that in perspective, if you're operating perfectly, this is somewhere in the neighborhood of what you should be doing. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind as you're looking at what you're going to be working on and if it's valuable or not. Now, let's say that you're in a scenario where this is your information. You have very, very good metrics. We can call them perfect. You've made them perfect. You just need to spend more money and get more leads. And then what's going to happen is, as you get more money and spend more money on marketing, is you're going to create bottlenecks down below the funnel. So again, Imagine this as being a funnel. Leads is over here, it's the big one, and it shrinks down until you get to money. And you're going to have breaks in your funnel where water is leaking out or money's leaking out in this scenario. And that's where you come in, and it makes a lot of sense to work on these different activities to increase the efficiency of your business. Let's run through one more scenario because it's the last one that's really, you see a lot. And you might be on the fence of saying, should I work on my business and improve the efficiency, or should I spend more money on marketing? And let's just run through this scenario. So let's say we're at 70%. This is perfect scenario. I'm going to run through a scenario here. Let's just say this is what we're at because this is a likely scenario, right? Let's say this is my scenario. I'm not really great on a few, I'm not perfect on these. I'm doing great on everything but these three areas, right? But the change in the effort in order to move from 70 to 75 might be quite high. So this is where I would run down a scenario and say, okay, so what's your return on your investment? If your return on your investment is above 3 for inbound sources and above 5 for outbound sources, then I would say that you just want to spend more money on marketing. And the reason why I say 5 for outbound sources and not 3 for inbound sources, or not 3 for outbound sources as like the inbound sources, is because there's a cost for your lead management and your actual work inside your business that adds in. And 5x return on your investment for outbound sources is the much more target scenario, in my opinion. Once you get below that, you start to not be as profitable and you need to boost your profitability. So in reality, the only reason your cost per lead for SMS typically is like 15 to 20 bucks. Cold calls, maybe 30 bucks, right? So you're pretty much always going to be having above a 5x ROI on that if your numbers look like this. The only reason you wouldn't is because your deal size was small. And so if your deal size is small, you need to work on either going to a market that has a higher median home price. Typically your assignment fee is going to be 8 to 12% of whatever your median home price is, or you need to get better at negotiating and you need to offer lower. And that would be a simple fix. Or you can learn the MLS strategy, which is a whole nother conversation. So anyways, that is one piece of this puzzle. And this is how you decide what parts of your business you're going to work on to a very high and accurate degree. And this does not tell you what you need to do, but it does tell you where you need to work. And being able to work on the right problems and the biggest, most important problems that are going to make you the most money is the most important part about being a CEO. So hopefully this was impactful. There's some other things we can do with this, but for right now, if you can implement these actions to track these numbers every single day in your business, then you're going to have the clarity you need to make decisions when maybe before it used to not have, you wouldn't have full conviction over what you need to do. You're kind of going off your gut, and your gut's decent, but it's not great, especially if you're trying to double or triple your business. So anyways, do it right, go make some money. And again, if you guys we do this for people. So just click the link down below if you want to book a call and find out how we can help you. If not, I keep making free content for you so you can consume and make money on your own. So thanks, guys.